time. Terrorism at the World Trade Center.
This is beyond belief.
Breaking news.
2 planes have smashed into the towers minutes apart.
We were stunned. We were shocked.
Z100, 852. Something weird is going on.
Yeah.
The World Trade Center is on fire.
Oh, my Seriously, goodness. The top of the building. We're trying to get information, Elvis.
It looks like floors are just gone. Looks like how do you turn it on?
And Ron himself yells, "Oh no, oh my God," because Ron himself is like paralyzed by what he sees. I'm sort of like numb.
I was sitting at my desk at 8:48 that morning and my phone rang, and it was one of our salespeople, our account executives, Joan Fleischer, who is not a reporter.
Breaking news now on 1010 Wins.
This just into our newsroom. A plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
I heard the plane very close to the top of the buildings. I looked outside and I saw it hit.
People expected certain things from WOR in a crisis.
It's the biggest news story in the last 50 years.
And it was raw emotion.
Police vehicles and emergency service vehicles and fire trucks keep speeding past me.
I managed to hop into an emergency services vehicle and got across the Brooklyn Bridge.
I made it all the way to Warren and West Broadway, where a number of cars are on fire in the middle of the street.
But then I start kicking in with Ron that, hey, this could be an act of terrorism. And he chides me. He says, wait a second, you remember Timothy McVeigh? You remember Murtaugh? You remember the first reports? A swarthy, Middle Eastern type. Meantime, was a corn-fed, white, all-American, blonde-head, blue-eyed devil who did it from the heartland of America.
Right away, I thought terrorism, but, you know, I'm a talk show host. I'm cynical.
Clearly, we're in the middle of the worst ever act of terrorism directed at the United States on domestic soil, and it may not be over.
You're trying to describe the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history, and you're watching it.
Something's wrong here. This can't be true. I thought it was, I really thought it was one of those Howard Stern listeners who'd called us up and faked us out, you know? So I was about to call the radio station and say, did you check this out? And then they said, we can see it.
We were able to stay local. We did not turn to network coverage because we didn't need to. It was our story, and we covered it locally.
It's 9 o'clock now on WOR New York, along with Joe Bartlett in the WOR News Center. I'm Ed Walsh. This is one of those days that all of us will remember for the rest of our lives.
This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
As hard as they tried to distance themselves from the news and not be the news, their emotions were really on their sleeves, and that's good radio. It's natural.
I'm getting goosebumps as I talk about it, and watch the second plane hit, as most of the country did.
Oh my God, Ed, another plane just hit the World Trade Center. Another plane. It was a medium-sized plane. Unbelievable. It would look like, oh my God, this is a deliberate act, Ed. This plane flew directly into the second World Trade Center.
We saw some speck coming out, and the first thing that I did in the newsroom is yell out, how could FAA allow a plane to be that close? And all of a sudden, that plane went into the South Tower.
Breaking news on WCBS 880, right here, right now.
We're covering more terror at the World Trade Center 8 years later.
It's exploding right now, Tommy. We're seeing another
Apparently
plane.
that was another plane.
When that second plane flew into the building and you saw it come across the screen, you just went, oh my God. How can this be happening?
The latest update from WABC Radio News.
Oh my God!
Oh,
the next building
there's
just
another
blew
one.
Up. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Another plane just flew in.
I feel the heat. The explosion is incredible. Oh my God!
Another plane as we were watching.
I don't believe this. The second tower has exploded from about the 20 stories below in a gargantuan explosion. Oh my God, I don't believe it.
Breaking news now on 1010 Wins.
Interrupting John for just a moment, we now have reports of a fire at the Pentagon.
But now we have unconfirmed reports there has been an explosion. There is a fire at the Pentagon here in Washington.
All right, we've got Neil Augenstein, who we've been trying to bring up this morning. Neil, are you? Can you tell us what you see at the Pentagon now?
Mike, can you hear me? Mike?
Yes, I can. Neil Augenstein, you're live on the air. Tell us what you see at the Pentagon.
Okay, I'm standing right on, 395, right by the Boundary Channel Drive exit, looking across to the Pentagon, seeing heavy, heavy smoke.
I'm on the highway on my cell phone. I just watched
a plane crash near the Pentagon. I was on with the press secretary of Congressman John Sununu, and while I was on the phone with her, I saw the plane crash right before my eyes. Smoke is billowing all around this area.
And then the realization that the building was absolutely crumbling into itself. And I just, like the rest of the world, sat there in complete, utter disbelief.
The most horrible sight of my life was watching that first building crumble to the ground.
Oh my God, the building fell! Are you there? The building just fell!
Which building?
Oh my God, the south building just crumbled from the top! Oh my God, the building just fell! The entire World Trade Center on the south building just fell. I just saw the whole thing. Oh my God.
Nobody knew whether these buildings were falling like this or falling in on top of themselves, so that the terror was to try to calculate how far does a 110-story building fall and how fast can I run.
I saw the tower go down, and I'm standing there feeling helpless, wanting to cry, and also wanting to be strong and do something.
It was so chilling that our anchor at the time, Lee Harris, as objective as he tried to be, as journalistic as he tried to be, the anguish in his voice was unmistakable.
A situation that started bad just gets worse and worse and worse. The World Trade Center, South Tower, which was hit by a plane and racked by an explosion, has totally collapsed.
This is WABC, New York.
A large plane crashes in western Pennsylvania. If this is indeed connected to what has happened here this morning, it is quite clear that the United States is under attack.
Our reporters arrived right before the second tower was hit, and we were scared to death that we were going to lose one of them. And then when that second tower came down and we lost all communication with our reporters, as a general manager of the radio station, I had this excruciating pain in my stomach that I had sent some of my own people to their death.
As I look out, it looks as though the building is going. Is that the building going down? Is that the second building of the World Trade Center going down?
Yes, that is the second. That is the second tower. That is the second tower.
Down. It's a huge plume of smoke that came out of the middle of the building, and then the building just disappeared in the smoke. It is an incredible sight. People around me are taking a look. I cannot even describe it. It is one of those rare moments where you just can't describe it. It looked as though it was a puff of cloud, almost like a firework explosion of cloud. No noise with it. And then all of a sudden, I just blinked my eyes. I looked back, I might have heard the people in the background going, "Oh my God!" And the second building appears to have gone down.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Ben. That is the second building that has gone down.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
I think everybody from now on that lived through that will put that mark, that time, and that date, 9/11, on their mental calendar, and they'll never forget that day. Because things changed from then on. It's just not the same. It's really not.
Once that first plane hit, we had already started to tone down the music, get anything raucous off the air. We pulled a lot of the raucous jingles off the air to kind of just tone everything down.
All debate in America now has shifted and changed, and it'll never be the same because it will all be weighed against the events of September the 11th. You won't debate immigration the way you once did prior to the 11th. It's a whole different ballgame. I'm looking over at the 77 AM WABC Talk Radio logo, which has the Twin Towers of Power right there. I mean, that's our stamp, our brand. That's sort of like everyone knows. They see that, oh yeah, that's WABC in New York.
It was just incredible. We sit there and play 10 songs in a row, and we do wacky contests, and we have fun with listeners, but we've never really thought seriously about how we can change the world with our radio station, and we did. It was just awesome.
I've ever seen the city. I'm homegrown. I'm a Brooklyn boy. And I have never seen the city so unified.
I'm here to help. And the first people I ran into were the Salvation Army, and they just put me to work. And it turns out that I have organizational skills that I didn't know I had. So, I mean, all I wanted to do was help. I just wanted to do something, which I think a lot of people felt.
This is a monument to our people. It's a church at ground zero, with all of the fire persons and the policemen who are actually the heroes in this war. And let us celebrate the great humanness of radio, which picked up the ball after television showed us where it was.
And we still get email from people saying they don't know how they could get through all that without Z100. I'm thinking, without a radio station? It's just it's a radio station. It's number 600 on your list of important things, and they said that they couldn't do it without us. And I'm glad I do what I do for a living now. It makes me really proud to be working in this business.
To this day, months after 9/11, when you see fire trucks screeching down the streets, American flags flying in full furl on the trucks, and people applauding as the trucks go by. It's just amazing.
Here we are at ground zero. It's an amazing feeling. It feels so much different than it looks. And in life, you can't explain something like this. You have to experience it.
And we also had calls from people who were inside the buildings and didn't make it out. It's the most memorable broadcast day of my life.
We're using television to show radio. On the morning of 9/11, radio showed us television. And we have that common bond, although it's a reversal of roles. And I would like to think most of the healing is taking place on radio because of the nature of what we do, which is intimacy. And the word says it all. Into me see. Intimacy. The hallmark of talk radio.
The past few minutes could only scratch the surface of a day no American will ever forget. God bless you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. And may God bless America.
America, America.